Richard Smucker is perhaps the finest man I know. He's smart, Miami of Ohio, Wharton School graduate, brilliant businessman, has done an incredible job with his family's company. It's a family business to be sure. The employees that work there feel like they're part of the Smucker family. They're treated as such as well. But there's an expectation for performance and excellence and growth. And Richard just has this remarkable way about him that makes people want to follow him, work their hardest, do their best, and still bask in the glory of being part of that great company. The growth of that organization during Richard's leadership was simply incredible. Doubled and doubled and doubled again as he added iconic brands to the great Smucker name. And it really is one of the great American business success stories.
You know, I've had the pleasure to get to know Richard both in his business life and in his community life. And I think what's really compelling is Smucker's as an iconic brand in America, and then to meet a Richard Smucker and realize behind that the strength of the family values, but it has become a major corporation in America, but scaled and done in a way where it never lost its roots, never lost its values, and lives and breathes corporate responsibility. That is the shadow of a leader like Richard Smucker, who has himself firmly planted in history, in his family, in his values, but forward-looking, and built a company of today and in the future.
Not only is Richard an extraordinary business leader, but he is also sort of a gift to the community in that he's a great civic leader. You know, I've watched him through the Smucker Company. I mean, one of their basic beliefs is to serve the community, and Richard has certainly been a force, not only in Orrville, where the Smucker Company is located, but really anywhere else the company has a presence. And we in Cleveland have definitely felt the benefit of Richard's largesse. If anybody has been involved or aware of the Cleveland Orchestra, they know what a force Richard has been in the last few years and done extraordinary things. And I watched him as he served on the Federal Reserve Board, and he was really a phenomenal representative of our community in that realm.
Richard and Emily's involvement and support of CAREMU is indicative of their values of diversity and inclusion. As we spoke about CAREMU, it was important, the social justice work that CAREMU has done and continues to do. It was one of the first theaters where Black actors and white actors acted together on the same stage. It is the oldest African-American running theater in the country. This is one way that they live out those values.
Your philanthropy is colorless and is boundless. You and Emily make no distinction between people's race, place in life, or station. You are one of all of us. The Maltz Museum, since inception, has above all tried to make people understand that we are not separate, that we are together, that we're all part of the human race, striving to make life better for all of us. You have done that in every way, and that's our hope and our belief that you will continue to bless this community for decades to come.
When you think about the Maltz Museum, and particularly the Heritage Award, it's about leadership, it's about vision, it's about humanity. But within humanity, it's about building bridges, it's about not tolerating injustice in this world, and the people who have the vision to create a better future. I think of Richard, and I think he not only teaches us what we can be, he's a person who shows us what we should be.
Richard Smucker is absolutely deserving of receiving this year's Heritage Award. Those of us who have received it in the past are actually lifted up by having him as part of the family of outstanding men and women who have been recognized by this great organization.
I can't imagine a better recipient than Richard. Having known him for a long time, having watched him, whether it's the factory room floor or the boardroom, there's no better award winner and no better champion for these types of rights and values than Richard Smucker.
His work in his corporation and his philanthropic work really speaks to who he is as a person. He cares about his community. He cares about diversity and inclusion, and it's an honor and a privilege to just briefly be a part of this great honor for a great man.
The motto of your company is, With a name like Smucker's, it has to be good. But the truth of the matter is, it's not the name that makes you so good. It's who you are. And that's what makes the name so good.
When Meld informed us that we were receiving the Maltz Heritage Award, we were truly surprised and deeply honored. And although we never envisioned accepting this award during a global pandemic, our current world crisis has made this award even more meaningful and relevant to us. The Maltz Museum of Jewish Heritage has always been about bringing people together, even when we're apart. The museum builds bridges of tolerance and understanding so that regardless of race, religion, or ideology, people can come together and become closer. This vision that Meldon Tamar had in creating the museum is so relevant to today. This pandemic demonstrated how small of a world this is. The Maltz mission couldn't be more important as the world seeks to come together and heal and regain our footing. Our hope coming out of this is that we are more united than ever, that we exhibit compassion for one another, that we realize we all have much more in common than we ever thought. My great-grandfather Jerome began our company in 1897. He was a dairy farmer in Wayne County, 50 miles south of Cleveland. He also had apple orchards and made apple butter for his friends and neighbors. He eventually gave up the dairy farm and started selling his apple butter to local stores and merchants. Jerome was a man of principles and had a very simple yet profound business philosophy based upon the golden rule of treating everyone the way you wanted to be treated. Over the next 123 years, we have tried to keep this as the bedrock of our company's culture. It's a philosophy that bridges people of all races and religions. Being involved in the communities in which we live and work is but one way in which this principle manifests itself in our daily actions. In facing today's pandemic, it reminds us of our history of playing our role in trying to feed the troops during World War II. My father, Paul, went to serve in the Pacific on a destroyer, and a third of our employees joined the armed forces to also serve. Many employees' spouses stepped forward to carry on their work in our factories and our office. Today, as our nation and our world goes to war against COVID-19, our employees are doing their part and playing a role in keeping food on grocery shelves and donating in a significant way to the American food banks. There are many heroes in today's fight, beginning with our healthcare workers, who are truly on the front line. There are also those working in grocery stores, those delivering to our homes, and many others. But we shouldn't forget those who have closed their businesses or lost their jobs because they're staying home to protect all of us. We owe them all a debt of gratitude. We know that in the weeks and the months ahead, there will be many people and organizations struggling in our community. Thankfully, the leaders in Northeast Ohio have always gone beyond the ordinary in coming to the aid of those in need, and I am sure this time will be no different. Thank you for all that you have done and will do to be there for our community. So on behalf of all of us at the J.M. Smucker Company, it is with deep humility and tremendous gratitude that we accept the Maltz Heritage Award. The list of those who have previously been honored with this award is a list of who's who in Northeast Ohio, and we are humbled to be recognized along with them. This special recognition inspires us to continue our journey in pursuit of ideals that make a difference, of treating others with kindness and respect, of giving back to our communities, of making the world a better place for the next generation. The vision of Milton Tamar provide a beacon for our path, and we are all so blessed to have them as leaders in our community. Finally, I want to thank each of you for your continued support of our community, including the good work of the Maltz Museum and its critical mission. We look forward to seeing you all again soon. May God bless you, your family, your community, and the nation. Thank you so much.